So teachers are burnt out. When you're burnt out and you just need to get work done, and then there's this magical app that says, hey, you know all that random typing and stuff you need to do all the time?
Yes.
Let me do that for you. As if you wouldn't.
Save our Sundays, no more Monday blues.
Welcome to Save Our Sundays, the podcast where we build MyTeacherAide in public and try to give teachers their weekends back. Today we are getting into one of the biggest questions underneath everything that we're building, which is, what is AI? Like, actually, what is it? Not in like a scary technical Silicon Valley way, which I would be prone to, but we're going to do this today, Josh, in a practical way that everybody can understand. What is it doing? What is it good at?
Yep.
And where does it fall short? And how should educators actually think about using AI? And which we'll get into as well. Like, what are we thinking about when we're trying to determine the things that we incorporate into the app?
The best use case for a large language model or...
Yeah. And like, what is a large language model?
Yeah. I know, man. Because ever since we've started working on this, I've gotten to know a lot of these terms and what it means.
Yeah.
And I would start just using it in random phrases or conversation.
Yeah.
And then the other person would be like, what is an LLM? Or, or a large language model, like you just said. So it'll be good to touch on all these things. But before all of that, Sunday check-in. How was your week?
It was really good. It was really good. Last week of holidays, so naturally, hard at work.
As always. Yep.
But yeah, spent some good time with the family.
And for those of you who don't understand that joke, go see episode 1. Jacob talks about this interesting stat. Anyway, coming back.
Yes. And if you're listening and a teacher, you are our target market and you already get the joke. Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good weekend with the family.
Do you try to break up your week, knowing well that you have work to do or catch up on before, term starts? How do you structure that?
I make sure that I practice a Sabbath very strictly. So 1 day a week, no work. It doesn't matter how far behind I am in something. It doesn't matter how pressured I am. That day, I don't even let myself think about work.
I need to do that so badly.
I think it's very, it's very scriptural. It's also very just good. Like when you do it, things just work. It's kind of like think about it like tithing a day of your week.
Yes.
And having the fact that everything else will fit in the remaining 6 days.
Yep.
What about you? How's your week?
Well, I don't have holidays because I work a 9 to 5. And it's been really hectic, to be honest. As I was saying just before we started recording, I always crave coming back home to my 9-month-old. And because every time I leave home in the morning, she gives out a little cry and makes me sad.
I know.
So, I've been having fun coming back home from work. Work has been okay, but then I look forward to just spending time with Odie and Gabby and just having fun.
When she starts talking,
oh my
it's
God,
going to be amazing. You'll walk
I'm gonna
in the
cry
door,
every
she'll look
time
at
she
you,
talks.
she'll be like, Daddy, and she'll run over to you and give you a big hug. Like, friend does that
At the moment,
every
she
day
hasn't clocked cuddles or kisses. Like she
it takes a while.
Yeah.
It's weird how long it takes, but like there will be a day where like boom, she gets it.
She
the
gets it,
concept of the hug opens up and like giving a kiss.
Oh,
and that's
I'm gonna melt, man.
That's like peak
melt.
fatherhood right there. Is when
I'm looking forward to it.
Kid starts recognizing and communicating to you that they're.
I'm so looking forward to that.
It's wonderful.
Yep. So let's get into this. So what was your first real oh wow moment with AI, and what was your first oh no what have I done sort of moment with AI? Let's get into that.
Yeah. So I remember I was in a relief lesson. If you're a teacher listening, you know how this works. For those of you who don't know how this works, part of the duties of a teacher is internally in the school. If somebody has a sick day, somebody else has to step up and do those classes. Because you can't just leave kids alone.
So is that like a substitute teacher?
Yes. Yeah. So that's like what I think our generation knows it as like a substitute teacher, but now it's called relief. Or I think the UK has a different term, but so a relief lesson, a good relief lesson is you walk in, the piece of paper that tells you what you're meant to do just says, the kids know what they're doing X, Y, Z, don't let them talk, just have them work, right? And then you're like, all right, you guys work.
Easy.
I'm going to make sure you work. And then sometimes, you can get some email sorted and whatnot. You get up every now and then, you do the tour to be sure, As I can't remember who first said that. It might have been Bill Rogers or David William. Anyways, I was in one of these lessons, and they were hard at work, and I just recently heard about ChatGPT.
Okay.
And so for me, it was like, I get something in my head, and I just can't let it go.
Yep.
So I was like, I need to give this a go. And so I got on, made my account, and had it do like a lesson plan. And like as a young teacher at the time, and as like, the first time you use AI, it's magical.
Yes.
And it just goes, brrrr, there's the lesson plan. That was my first wow moment, just seeing that much just comprehensible text suddenly there. And like, I didn't write it. It was a computer that wrote it. And I feel like we're like 3 years on from kind of ChatGPT really hitting the main stage. I don't know if a lot of people have kind of like gotten desensitized to that, but that like cast your minds back 5 years.
Yeah.
And then the idea that a computer could just generate comprehensible text, like that much comprehensible text, that was astounding.
Because now it's the standard, right? You expect the AI to just spit out something. Back then, far out. I remember I was trying to like build my personal brand sort of thing on Twitter. So I got into ChatGPT. I gave it all this context about what I'm trying to do, and man, I was blown away. I was like, wow. This thing can articulate this so much better than me, But then over time, I realized it's giving real generic AI sort of answers, and I was like,
it can articulate but not communicate.
Yes. Yeah. So that's when I realized there's an important aspect of having that human behind the AI. It is so important. Otherwise, everyone can now tell that it is AI generated, apart from just the M dash.
Which, speaking of, the M dashes. I have a whole thing on the M dash.
Oh, we need to touch on that.
We'll touch on the M dash because I care very deeply about the M dash. But fast forward 2 weeks. Speaking of needing a human behind it, fast forward 2 weeks. I've tried to use AI, like we're talking GPT-2.
Yes. What are we at now?
5.4 is GPT.
Wow.
But then you've got like Anthropic and Gemini and DeepSeek and all these other ones. I had tried to make a unit plan. So a unit sequence to run with GPT. And I was then planning that, trying to get like the lessons put together. And I had this uh-oh moment after I just like planned stuff on the assumption that it was going to work, and realized that it has no concept of time.
Yes.
So
yes, I remember something.
I was trying to run an activity, and I realized, I can't remember if it was there's not enough time to do this in, or this went too quick. It was one of the two. It was like years ago now. But I remember sitting there in class and being like, I've made a huge mistake.
Oh, man. Yep.
And like, we recovered.
Yep.
But that was, I think, the first moment where I started to understand what the implications of AI as a language model, what that actually meant, and kind of really destroying my concept of AI as like the Matrix sort of like thinking machine, or like the Dune thinking machines, or what's another one, Terminator and that sort of stuff, right? Like just kind of going, this is not the same thing.
Yes, very different.
That was that big moment. So this brings us to, why are we talking about this? Why do we need to understand what AI is to use it well? Why do we need to understand what it is before we can actually talk about using it well?
And as a teacher, it'll be interesting to understand from your point of view why teachers need AI literacy, or how AI literacy matters from a teacher's point of view.
Yeah, so some studies have been done on the adoption of AI in education. A few takeaways that I've noticed. First, did you know in the last 2 years, just under 2 years, the adoption of AI in education has doubled from 25 to almost 60%.
I think the reality also is that initially everyone was scared about AI. I come from the government sector and everyone was like, no AI, no go. But now we have an entire team looking at agentic AI models and how that can create efficiencies. Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of time. It's not about if, it's about when.
Yeah. And how. And I think that's what we want to talk about, is how do you implement it? So So adoption has gone from like 25 or something percent to like 60%, so more than doubled.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that schools are not training their employees about how to use it well or what it is. And so for that 40% of teachers who haven't adopted it, one of the big things that keeps them from adopting it is they feel like they don't understand how to use it. They don't understand what it is. And they feel like you need to have some special sort of kind of qualification to actually try to use it.
And there's a lot of misinformation out there as well, right? Like
On both sides.
Yeah.
There's I think we talked about the doomers and the hype. On the last episode. And there's the people who think it's going to end the world. There's the people who think it's going to be the next best thing since like sliced cheese.
Yep.
There's people who think that it's just a load of crock, right? And it's going to be this bubble that pops and then it goes away forever.
Yep.
The truth is somewhere in the middle of everything. And so I think it's important, first of all, it's important to understand something before you use it. And I think it's also important to use something reflectively. And you can't reflect on something without a baseline level of knowledge. So it's important that we talk about AI literacy because you want to understand something before you use it.
Try and use
you
it.
need to understand something before you use it well.
Yep.
So that brings us to this question of like, how do you actually explain AI?
How do you? How do you explain AI to teachers? And before we get into that, one of the biggest questions I get from potential teachers when I'm talking to them about MyTeacherAide is, why would I use MyTeacherAide when there's ChatGPT?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, why would I use your tool that I have to pay for if I already am using ChatGPT and it does the same thing?
Yeah, and that is a fair question, and one that we've got a lot on, and I think it's a multifaceted answer. And so we'll talk about that, but I think we need to first talk about what is AI. And then also there's so many angles to this.
There's
right?
so many angles.
Why, like, should students use AI? And if students
They're probably already using it.
Yeah.
But
how do you stop them from using it?
Yeah.
Can you? And if they shouldn't use AI, then why do teachers get to use AI? I get this from my students all the time.
And do you think an average teacher could look at let's say an essay from a student and tell if it's AI generated?
I think it's getting harder and harder. It depends on how savvy the student is with their AI usage.
And how
generally,
much attention to detail the teacher probably pays to the student's work as well, right?
And think if you're marking like 50 papers, which is, a low number.
Yeah.
Like you have to try and read and I'm an English teacher. You have to try and read and mark an essay in like 5 minutes in order to actually make it manageable. And
you're not getting into the weeds.
Yeah, right. Like you can't really get a good feel, especially because there's like false positives and false negatives.
Yep.
But we'll talk about that, and maybe a future episode could be, how do you manage student AI use? I think that would be a good thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, what is ChatGPT?
Yes, I think that's probably a better way to start.
What is a chatbot? I think that's what people really think, because AI is a whole thing.
Yes.
AI, artificial intelligence, is just simply, how do you make it so that a computer makes decisions?
Yes.
And that you don't need a chatbot for that. Like, AI has been around for decades.
Yeah.
Let's focus our conversation on what are called language models.
Because that's where it makes the most sense, right? Like ChatGPT introduced AI to us as an interface where we can chat to this thing that existed for, like you said, decades.
So everybody uses a language model day to day. Doesn't matter if you use chatbots or not. You pull out your phone and you're typing to your wife, "Hey, be home," and then this word pops up at the top of your keyboard, "soon."
Yes.
Right? And you click soon. You've just used a language model. So a language model is, in very simple terms, is an algorithm that predicts the most likely word to come after another word in a series of words. And when I say word, that's also not technically correct, because it breaks language down into what are called tokens, which are parts of words.
Okay.
And so essentially what's happened is a computer has been trained to understand language as if it were just maths.
Wow.
And then it is just running a probability. And now I'm going to pause here and say that this is a very simplified answer.
Yes.
It is.
So all the AI experts out there, don't come at us, man.
Yeah, don't come at me. This is
teacher, random brown guy. Okay?
I go deep, but I don't go that deep. They've trained this AI on a bunch of probabilities.
Yep.
And so think of the AI like this. It is a dictionary in the form of a multi-dimensional grid or graph. You know, you like have the graph, like the XY axis and then your dotting points. Do you remember in maths when you're like y equals...
I was a bad math student, man. I had a bad math teacher.
Killing me. You know how you have like the X,
Yes,
the Y
I
axis
do.
and the X axis?
Okay. Yes. But I did have a really bad math
How
teacher.
deep do we have to go? Have you ever seen the one where there's like a Z axis?
No.
It's a 3D graph.
3D. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
AI, it's a bunch of axes.
Wow.
Multi-dimensional axes. And then you think of each word is somewhere on that graph. So every single word in the
Could be anywhere.
language is somewhere on that graph.
Okay.
And so it's predicting the next word based on its likelihood to be close to other words. Think about it this way. Dog is more likely to appear near cat than it is to appear near cheese. And cow is likely to appear near cheese more likely than it is to appear near motorcycle.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like words have a mathematical likelihood of being near each other.
Understood.
So that's as far as we're going to abstract this. Let's bring it back to like real terms.
Yes. For all the teachers that we lost, come back, please. Please come back. We're coming
here. In summary, when you say, "Hey babe, leaving work, I'll be home soon."
It won't be cow.
Right? It won't be "I'll be home cow."
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's "I'll be home soon."
Soon. Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
Or later.
Yeah, or later,
be,
right? Soon and later,
Yeah.
right? And so it'll decide which one based on other context. So here's the big takeaway. It is a mathematical calculation. It's not actually knowledge. So it's not thinking. It's running a probability calculation.
For now.
Well, interesting you should say that. There was a paper that came out by Varun and Vishal Sikka. I think it's a father-son duo.
Okay.
So they wrote this paper called Hallucination Stations, and they actually they showed mathematically that there is a ceiling to what these language models can actually do and like demonstrate with reasoning. And it really kind of drives home that it's not thinking, it is just probability. It's chunking out something that looks like thinking, but it's not actual thinking.
So what I'm taking away from this is you definitely need a human to drive the best output that you possibly can out of this large language model.
Because, again, it's just probabilities. Which is why, have you heard of prompt engineering?
Yes, now obviously because of MyTeacherAide I have, but I think you should explain it in again very high level.
So
terms.
prompt to like prompt something. You prompt the chatbot to respond. When you type a message in, send. That's your prompt, and then it gives you an output. Prompt engineering, you are putting thought and effort into how you design what you say to create a certain output. That works because the input you give affects the probabilities that produces the output.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So anybody who uses ChatGPT or has a paid subscription would know about projects or GPTs.
Yes.
The way that these work is you'd go in, you'd fill your project with a bunch of reference documents, or you'd create your GPT with some reference document and like an instructions. What that does is it puts in all that knowledge into the context window. By the context window, think of it as memory for the AI.
Yep.
It puts all that into the AI's memory, and all of that directs the probability.
Understood.
And that's all it's doing. It's just, it's
so if
making
you don't give it enough context, it might not give
the probability field's really wide.
Yeah,
so what you think about it this way is you're not giving it more knowledge, you are narrowing the likelihood of what's going to be outputted. And you can demonstrate this using a really simple prompt. If you go in, and like this is from like a coding perspective, and you say, create a string of Python code to say hello world. There are very few ways to actually do that. And so you can almost guess verbatim what it's going to produce.
Okay.
Right? What the output's going to be. Because with a query like that, there's only, like the probabilities are very, it's not going to start typing out Harry Potter.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The probability of Harry Potter following that query
is very low.
Astronomically low. And so all you're doing is you're controlling the likelihood of an output. All that based on the probabilities put into the language.
All right, so with all of that said, where do you as a teacher see AI actually helping teachers? How can AI actually help?
Yeah. So thinking about AI as a probability machine and what's called natural language processing is like the area of programming and computer science that it falls into. It's predicting language, which means because it's mathematical, not linguistic at the end of the day, it's a pattern recognition machine. And that's your key. Good AI use leans into its strengths and not its weaknesses. So its strengths is pattern recognition. Because it's mathematical, it's a natural language process. It's processing language and it's predicting patterns. So anything where there's a predictable pattern. So like think about summarizing a text. Summarizing involves spotting patterns and converting those patterns into simpler patterns, right? It's quite good at summarizing text. Basic kind of administrative things that are very repetitive that you can identify patterns in, it's pretty good for. But for high-level reasoning, it could, for some things, create a facsimile, and it might be right. If you put enough infrastructure around it, you might actually get it to be right quite a bit if you're really putting the effort in. But it's not actually reasoning. It's not thinking because it's not actual cognition.
So that segues really well into why AI falls. What's the downfall of AI in the teaching space?
Yeah.
Because most teachers, like you mentioned in episode 1, don't have the time or mental space to prompt well. Hence, they don't have the time to create the infrastructures required to give the large language model enough context to give us the right answers.
Well, and then also, some people like say, summarize this text, and it summarizes it really well. And then they'll go, oh my goodness, it's amazing. And they'll say, all right, grade this paper based on these criteria. And the problem is that the more complicated a problem gets, the more likely it is to what's called hallucinate, which just gives responses that are just wrong. Because, and this is what the Sika duo talked about in their paper Hallucination Stations, is that if a problem that is given to AI is more complex in terms of token cost than the context window it has to hallucinate. As in, like, it will just, is a matter of mathematics and physics, it just will hallucinate.
Yeah. Because if these constraints didn't exist in AI, is it safe to say that the teaching crisis wouldn't exist? Because AI would solve the entire issues that exist within education, right?
If AI would automatically make everybody 10 times more productive, why are we still talking about this 3 years after ChatGPT hit the scene?
You touched on hallucination. So I want to dig a bit deeper into that. So why does AI make up random things?
Because it is a probability machine. Have you ever, somebody comes up and says, guess what?
I hate them, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to guess.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Every time.
I don't want to guess, bro.
Every time.
Like, it's my biggest pet peeve. Hey, guess what? I don't want to guess. Just tell me. Tell me what it is.
Try this on for size. Every time you send a message to ChatGPT, you're saying, guess what?
It must hate me.
Because it doesn't know anything. It's predicting everything. Like you said, right? It's just prediction.
Wow.
So it doesn't have actual knowledge. And so when somebody says, guess what, and you actually try, always wrong. So based on that, right, it's predicting everything. Effectively, it means that you are just going and saying, so you're going to somebody who has zero knowledge, but is a great mathematician, and just saying, guess what? What would you say to the question, how should teachers think about responsible use of AI?
Man, it is scary because, funny enough, I was talking to my barber yesterday about this. We were talking about artificial intelligence and business and teaching and everything that we're doing. And it's so interesting that teachers have such a responsibility for the future generation.
Yeah.
And the outcomes of these kids are so dependent on the teachers being able to help them. But if teachers are so burnt out and they're not given the resources to be able to do what they need to do, then you're inevitably going to have a pool of future humans that aren't great at what they're meant to be doing.
Yeah, so you've got that angle, right? So teachers are burnt out. They're already not able to give a whole lot of, like a good amount of thought to what they're doing.
Yes.
Scary. When you're burnt out and you just need to get work done, and then there's this magical app that says, hey, you know all that random typing and stuff you need to do all the time?
Yes.
Let me do that for you. As if you wouldn't. As if you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's give it a go. Right? And then the responsible teachers would be like, ooh, I don't know about that.
But there's so many layers to that, right?
Everybody hits a limit.
Yes.
Right?
So you have a burnt out teacher who is happy to pay the $35 for ChatGPT Pro, and they're thinking that they're getting the right results. But there are so many layers to the issues with this. One, we've touched on security, and we will touch on it a bit more as we get into future episodes. Leaving security out of the picture for now.
Yeah.
As you mentioned just then about the fact that ChatGPT is just, guessing.
Yeah.
The teacher who is burnt out doesn't have time to prompt engineer a great amount of context.
Yeah.
Isn't going to get the best results. Hence, she or he is taking that to the classroom and, teaching this class.
So we talk about, so prompt engineering, giving enough context and direction to the AI to narrow or increase the likelihood that
the best possible
that a good output. And by good, we could say truthful, we could say efficient and useful, right? You want it to be correct. You want it to be easy to understand, so efficient in terms of communication, and then useful, actually like relevant. Right? So let's say truthful, efficient, and relevant. If you don't have the time, or maybe you just don't realize, that was the idea, kind of the impetus behind MyTeacherAide. So I love doing this sort of stuff. I deep dive into stuff. And so when AI hit the scene, I learned, like, what is this thing? How does it work? How do I use it really well? And not everybody is like that. And I think most teachers don't have time. Not everybody's interested in this sort of stuff. If they're teachers, they're not going to have time to really learn about it as deeply as that. And so the idea was, can some of that be done for somebody? And that's where you have like the MyTeacherAide layer, which is we are going to create a tool that is more specialized and more consistent in a certain niche than just regular ChatGPT. We're going to put a lot of effort into narrowing those probabilities for one specific use case. And that use case is the teaching profession. And that's where, if you don't know how to get the most optimal response out of AI, that's where we come in. We come in and we say, look, you're busy. We get that. We have put a lot of thought into our prompt engineering. We put a lot of thought how we design these tools so that they produce consistent, high quality output. We have chosen our models selectively, and we are going to make sure that you are able to give enough of your context so that the output that is produced is as good as it could possibly be with AI, even though you as the user may not be an expert in prompt engineering or AI usage.
So probability, prompt engineering, we're handling that. We've handled that. So for a teacher, what comes next?
Yeah, so if you're not an expert, you can come in and you can use MyTeacherAide, get good output with AI. But yeah, the next thing is, what should you be seeking in terms of what AI outputs? That's the second facet. ChatGPT's been around for years now.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years. Producer Gabby, look that up, put that on the screen.
You can put a correction.
So, ChatGPT's been around for like 5 years now, and people are still really busy. People still don't have a lot of time on their hands. This problem hasn't magically gone away, which tells us that not everything that you can do with AI, you should do with AI. I think we've talked a lot about what AI is. I think the next thing we talk about in the next episode should be, what do we use it for?
Yeah.
What are the actual good uses? And this is a bit of a tease, but the shorthand is repetitive things, patterns, things that you have to deal with every day that consume time and don't consume thought.
Yep.
Those are the things that can be passed off to AI.
It's so good.
Deep thinking, reflection, even, I'm sorry to say it, marking, can't really be passed off unless it's formulaic and repetitive, because you need a thinking machine, quote unquote. And the best thinking machine out there is your own dang professional brain.
Yes. And to close,
this podcast is called save our Sundays. How does MyTeacherAide save our Sundays? Well, step one, we are putting a lot of effort into providing you with a set of tools that are aimed towards actually pushing the needle on the time that you waste on stuff that could be automated. Step two, our goal for this podcast is to be a source of information so that you can learn not just about how to use AI well, but also we're going to be talking about best practices. We're going to be talking about ways that you can actually work in such a way that saves you time while still not sacrificing quality. We want everybody to be efficient and effective teachers.
Because the last thing you want to do on a Sunday is sit and try and figure out what prompt engineering actually means. Anyway, peace, fam. So if you're a teacher, where do you currently sit with AI? Are you excited? Are you skeptical? Are you overwhelmed? Or are you already using it? Or completely avoiding it? Send us an email and we would love to know what you think. And every piece of information we get from you helps build version 3. So we just want to hear from you.
Excited for your feedback, guys.
Peace.